I was happily married to my wife Susan. We have a kid. Alan is now 3. But last year my wife had begun to behave very strangely, and we became very distant. It was almost 6 months since she was not interested in me anymore. I became very frustrated about it. I am a very private person, especially when it comes to bedtime stories. But now it was over limits. So I discussed my issue with my friend. My friend was a psychiatrist. And trust me, he understands girls really well. So, he said, your wife might be cheating on you. This haunted me. But I was not really surprised. As were the circumstances were not so good either. And now the plan was to find that devil. So I took a few days off from work. I told Susan, my so-called wife, that tomorrow I'm going away for work for a few days. The next morning I parked my car over my friend's. I rented a car, bought a lot of food, and waited outside our building to spy on my wife. My wife stayed home and there was no stranger guy to enter our building. I waited for straight 3 days, all day, but found nothing suspicious. I was tired of this, and I decided to go back home on the 4th day. But I was still very curious to find this so well-hidden person. So my friend let me hire a personal detective to see what the real deal is. So, my detective rented an apartment on our floor so he could have a close eye. He didn't find any other man entering our apartment either. The only repeated visits were from her friend Annie. So, I failed to find my friend could get it either, or the detective had found anything suspicious. Hence I got back to my married single life. Things were becoming difficult every day. The biology was so wrong there. One day when I got back early from work, I was with my friend. I just picked my football jacket up. I had plans with my friend to go watch the game. When we approached our door, we heard weird noises coming from our apartment. But before I knocked at my door, my friend stopped me. He told me to go around from my neighbor's apartment to peek into my apartment. So I rang our neighbor's doorbell and told them that I had forgotten my keys inside, and now the door is locked. They let me and my friend go through their balcony and asked us to be careful. Our eyes popped out when we saw what was up. My dear wife was making out with her girlfriend. It was so weird. I did not know what to do. I went to a bar with my friend, had a couple of drinks, thought things through, and I went back home. It was very uncomfortable and strange that my wife now had an interest in women. So, I got divorced. Now I live alone, and Alan lives 1 week with me and 1 week over my wife's and her fellow